What is up, y'all? Happy Sunday. Happy day after Christmas. I hope everybody had a great day. I hope you shared it with people that you loved and you received some love. So just give me a minute. We will get started. Thank you to everybody that is joining. Appreciate you. What's up?
Hey girl,
What up, squirrel friend?
not much. How you doing?
Girl, blessed and highly flavored as always. How you?
I'm fabulous.
All
Thank
right.
you for asking.
Well, I can see. I can see. Okay.
Oh yes, I'm wearing my Christmas gifts there. So
Oh, hey. Okay. Did you have a good Christmas?
wonderful. Yes, got to spend it with my family. Dodged the Rona, which is coming for a lot of folks. Man, I
She
feel
just
bad.
be coming, right? Oh man, thank you to everybody that's joining. What's up? Oh, I think is that your mom? Hey, girl.
we can't spend our time staring at the people
You're right.
joining,
You're
but
right.
we
You're
love
right.
you all. Thank you for joining.
Okay. So what are we gonna talk about today? What are we gonna talk about?
Okay, so in keeping with our theme of Capricorn season things, we're talking about Saturn. Saturn rules Capricorn.
Okay.
So, Tanae,
Yes.
what do we know about Saturn?
Ooh. Saturn make you work for it. Saturn, is known as like Lord Karma. You hear about your Saturn return in your 29th year. It's usually the most difficult, not because only because you're leaving your 20s, but also because all of the lessons that you've learned in your 29 years, Saturn's like, did you really learn them? So Saturn makes you, that's at the end of it, Saturn makes you work for it. Saturn's not easy. So that's what about you? What do you think about Saturn?
So yeah, I was doing some research on this because I don't always think a ton about how Saturn's affecting my chart. I think because I've just realized as you get older, you have to be more disciplined. If you want to get anything done, you have to be more disciplined. And as you say, Saturn's the taskmaster of the zodiac. And at this point in my life, I'm not working against Saturn. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm trying to work with that energy, step by step, whatever. But in my research for this episode, I was thinking about the Saturn returns phenomenon, because Saturn, it takes 2.5 years for Saturn to go from one sign to the next. So if you're watching, you and all the people you graduated high school with probably have Saturn in the same sign in your chart, or many people who are your friends. And so I was thinking about that, and I was like, discipline. Saturn also represents discipline and areas where you need it, where you receive it, how it works for you. And sometimes the way parents discipline their kids is kind of trendy, right? So it makes sense to a certain degree that you would share with the people close in age to you certain aspects of discipline throughout your childhood that show up as adult patterns, for better or worse, right? And so I have Saturn in Scorpio, and
Okay.
Scorpio's, of course, a super intense sign, and Saturn's a super intense influence. And so I was thinking about all these kids born between 82 and 84, because I'm at the tail end of that Scorpio transit, and how, what we came of age through, and AIDS crisis, and, I think our parents not really knowing quite, DARE had just started. So how do you handle talking to kids about drugs when we're born to people in the late 70s, early 80s? These people were doing drugs. Like, let's be real.
Just drugs, like,
Drugs.
Yeah,
so
they invented the drugs. They invented the drugs back in the day.
Right. So like, my group, my generation, mini generation within this bigger millennial generation navigated that particular aspect. And then I was thinking my own personal 29th year and the 2 years, right? It's just it's important. If you look at if you're watching, you look at where Saturn was in your chart and Google, like, when is Saturn, coming back to whatever sign it is, and look at those time periods, the ones that have already passed in your life, and I can guarantee those were full of very important life lessons for you. And now I'm thinking about what's my 48th year gonna be like, and what second Saturn return will that bring? I don't know.
Honestly, I'm closer to that, so I'm actually like excited about it. When you bring up the 29 and the Saturn return, it's a lot of work. Like it's hard, and you run into people that are reflections of karma, where you have to learn how to deal with them. It is a structured and, like you said, self-discipline. And so when my Saturn return was happening during that time, I was managing a restaurant and I didn't have a lot of support from everybody else, except for the people that worked with me in that restaurant. And while it was a very trying time for me, afterwards, it made me a much better person, and I knew I could take on anything. So I appreciated the lesson, and you find it after. Saturn always brings it afterwards. So right now, Saturn is actually currently in Aquarius. It just left Capricorn. So the Capricorn,
just like when?
It started, I believe Saturn joined Aquarius earlier this year, maybe like December. I want to say December 17th-ish.
Oh, okay.
Don't quote me on it, but Saturn and Jupiter both kind of moved into Aquarius at the same time. But the Capricorns that had Saturn in their sign before that, I'm sure they can attest to how much, even though they're used to work, it helped them easily structure themselves. It was probably harder than they've ever experienced before, but it was easier because they're Capricorns and they can move with that energy. Sure. The fortunate thing about Aquarius is that Saturn was its modern ruler before it moved to Uranus. So Aquarians will probably have an easier time with it, but maybe not the easiest time, because Aquarians aren't really all about structure in a way, even though they're fixed, but not like the Capricorn life.
Sure.
But you got to respect.
So wait, you're telling me that for the past 2 years, where we've been dealing with a global pandemic and we're all confined to our house, Saturn, the planet that restricts things, was in Capricorn, the sign that restricts them even more. Got it.
Strange how that works, right?
That super tracks. But that actually makes me excited about, because I meant to look up where Saturn is now, and I totally didn't. So thank you for putting that out there.
Yeah, I did. I was like, let's just remember where it is now. I didn't want to look that up. Yeah.
Right. But what a more expansive influence to be in, right? Like Saturn in Aquarius, at least. Well, I guess in one sense, what we're probably headed into is a period where we have to deal with some very big philosophical truths that we have to question, and the rules that we made around them, which
and that those questions actually
fun.
Affect humanity and not just the individual. You know, Aquarius is all about everybody else. They are the humanitarians, and so I also think that Saturn is going to bring, in Aquarius, will bring more innovative solutions to structures and how you do that, because usually Aquarians are known to think outside the box. So it's not going to be, and after Capricorn, where we had to really get down almost to the bare bones, if you think about it, and move to Aquarius, where you can just try anything.
Right.
And usually the oddest thing that you would choose is what works. So I think this is going to be a good transit. I think it's going to be helpfully lighter energy for a lot of people.
It seems like it would have to be. It sort of seems like it would have to be.
Friendlier energy.
Yeah, right.
Not that, Capricorns aren't probably known as the friendliest. I'm sure their RBF is on point with a couple other signs, but we're focused on Capricorns.
Sure.
Which, if we have any watching, thank you for believing in astrology, because I just really figured the Capricorns would be like, no, why would we watch this? We already know what it is. I don't.
Right.
But if you are, we love you.
Every person who's ever answered the question, what's your sign? Oh, I'm not really into astrology. And then, but I'm a Capricorn. Of course you are. That tracks. That tracks. You wouldn't be into astrology, probably.
You can actually touch that and build it step by step. Even though if Capricorns went deep enough, they would realize that it is a step-by-step process, because each, sign and house, like there's so many things that take into account with each other, and everything was built on top of one thing after the other. So, but I respect the Capricorns. We have some they're amazing Capricorn celebrities. And you watch that all of them had longevity in their careers, and that's what they're known for, is the stability and the longevity. Muhammad Ali, one of the top boxers. Denzel Washington has had his amazing actor run, and one of my favorites, Miss Betty White. She has been rolling strong, hard. Dolly Parton. So they create long, sustained, all of that type of energy with Capricorn.
Yeah.
So
big legacy energy. So we did promise. Yeah, we promised each other only, but nobody else knows that originally we were going to do this live to talk about the best love matches for Capricorns. Right. So who's your top 2 for Capricorn?
Okay, my top 2 would be Scorpio and Leo.
Okay, let's hear. All right.
I know. Okay, you go with your top 2 and I'll explain why I have my top 2.
Okay, so I also had Leo on my list for Capricorn. And then it was really hard to find a number 2, but I landed on Pisces.
Okay. Is that
a little bit personal for me, because my parents were a Capricorn and a Pisces couple, for sure. But I do think that at their best for both of those signs, that's good energy to have.
That is probably perfect energy for them to have.
Right. Again, at its best. Make either one of those messy, and then that's a big mess.
Listen, that is, and that was the disclaimer. Sorry, guys. That's the disclaimer. Any sign can really work, but realistically, if you are low vibrating, it is not going to work, period. You will bring out the worst in your sign and the worst in that other person's sign, and nobody wants to deal with that.
No. You can't blame being a shitty person on being a Capricorn or a fucking Taurus or whatever.
Right. No, you're just a shitty person.
You're just a shitty person.
Okay, so the top reasons I pick Scorpio and Leo. Oddly enough, both are fixed signs, which help a cardinal energy like Capricorn sustain certain things. Leos just are boss ass energy. Like they're not trying to be like regular. Like they like, we the boss. If you look at Michelle Obama, who's a Capricorn, and Barack Obama, that's boss ass energy. You can't look at that and go, damn, that's some boss ass energy. And also David Bowie and Amon was a Capricorn male and a Leo female.
Oh, yeah, right. Yep. Okay.
So I like that. What I like about Capricorns and Scorpios is the water element of Scorpio isn't afraid of Capricorn's shadow side, and Scorpios already have their own shadow. They don't necessarily get pulled into Capricorns, because and I think that might be the one thing with a Leo that might kind of throw it off, is that Leos, like, they're not trying to live in, like, they're ruled by the sun. They're not trying to live in the shadow. Sure. And Capricorn it can easily get in their shadow side, and it's hard for an earth sign to get out of something like that, and so they're just really, really feeling it. But you tell me what your reasoning for the Pisces, and what was your number 2?
No, Leo was my number 1.
Okay. And
I did think about Scorpio too. My thought, and I like where you took it, where Scorpio doesn't need to get mired down in Capricorn shit. My thought was maybe that whole thing was a bit too dark. You know what I'm saying? But I agree with you. I agree with your analysis. And I think that either Pisces or Scorpio is a favorable match for Capricorn, because earth and water is naturally a harmonious combination. You know, they share the fundamental, like, duality aspect of, you know, femininity, or some put it as positive and negative. I've seen it as some negative, I guess, energy, as I consider that. And all earth signs would do well to get a little bit more in touch with their feelings, because they deny, much like all earth has water in it, under it somewhere, all earth signs need to access that emotional energy in order to make sure they're fully living up to their potential. Because if you can spend all day denying your emotions, but if you do that, eventually you are going to deal with them in some way. Like, you are going to have to face them. So
they don't really go anywhere. They're just not seen in the moment.
Right. Like, it behooves you to find somebody that can tap into that. But Leo, I think, is a great match for a Capricorn, because Capricorns could really do with a cheerleader. They're great, hard workers. They accomplish a lot, but they beat themselves up for not doing more, doing better, doing stronger. And Leo is the type of sign to really gas up their partner and just be like, you're fucking great. Don't fucking forget who you are. Like,
but they want to be gassed up too. And you
right.
gotta do that
And they need that in return. And a Capricorn will give to a deserving party their praise, right?
There you go. The keyword deserving party is Capricorn's eyes. Let's be clear, because they make it clear cut if you are, if you're not.
Right. Yeah. You will know quickly.
I do have a runner-up for Capricorn, and that would be Aquarius as a match. And only because, well, not only because, but also because Aquarius is the opposite side of Leo, so it's the same side, opposite side of the same coin. And Aquarius was also ruled by Saturn, and so they do have that sort of commonality. And Aquariuses have a brighter outlook and won't get weighed down in Capricorn's energy, and it's a good pairing, like in a comfortable setting. So there's
that's a nice wild card pairing there. I'll fucks with that. I wondered for a hot minute if Gemini could work with Capricorn. I mean, any signs can work together. It very much depends on the individuals, let's disclaimer that. But I just feel like Capricorns couldn't handle even because it's not that all Geminis are immature, but some of them will put that on, you know what I mean? And like exude that type of
childlike
energy, childlike energy, and Capricorns just don't.
And Capricorn's the parent. Remember, Capricorn's the father of the zodiac. Capricorn's usually, you think about a Capricorn, it's an authority, it's a father figure. And so the Gemini is a sign of the twins, like kids, children. And it's like, nobody wants to be in a relationship where they parent their partner. That's not
Have you
healthy,
ever seen
y'all.
A dad running
healthy? Wait, what?
I was gonna say, have you ever seen a dad running around after a pair of twins that looked happy? Like, if you've ever witnessed that.
The dad's patience was like this.
Yeah, right.
So my question to you, since you know my answer, I'm gonna let you go first.
Oh, okay.
What we had a question in the comments, and the question was, thank you to let me cut that. The question was, if Saturn was somebody, who would play her, right? That was the question. And so I would like to hear your answer, and then mine, but I'll say it later. So
yes. So my answer to this, and I'm sorry, it is a man, but it was because the role that it conjured up to me, Saturn, is Professor Snape in the Harry Potter series. So I thought of Alan Rickman. And the reason I say that is because Saturn is that influence in your chart that you will go your whole life fucking hating, only at the end to realize they were doing what was best for you.
Okay, that is a good one, and thank you for holding that back. But anyways, that is a good one. Okay. Ooh, score on you. Okay, so
also R.I.P. Alan Rickman.
Oh, yeah. The Harry side note, the Harry Potter new specials coming out January 1st. They're doing like a reunion 20 years later. So I'm really interested to see if they do like a in memoriam. I think that's how you say it.
Oh, sure.
But that's a great, and you had so much, and you see how that transformed throughout the entire series. to, you know, the end of it. Okay, so my choice is Miranda Priestley, played by the wonderful Meryl Streep in The Devil Wears Prada. I solidly think that that is big Capricorn energy all the way around, from the style to how she treated Andy throughout the entire, was that Anne Hathaway's character throughout the entire movie, and then at the end, like you said, it was for her best good in order to make her, you know. But that's definitely RBF the whole time, but classically iconic, authoritative, a taskmaster, but was very methodical in how she did it. And, you know, you got to respect people that have those results, you know?
That's right. Saturn. Saturn is out here fucking getting results one way or the other.
The work ain't gonna do it for you. You got to do the work, y'all.
That's right. It was interesting. I was reading too, and this is where it's so important in astrology to be able to know what your ascendant is and what houses the planets are in, because I was looking at how it's believed that, like you said, Saturn is father karma. So Saturn's placement in your chart is I think it was you that told me it's where exes get their karma.
Or other people. Or other people. We don't want to limit it to those, because they're not the only people that can do you wrong. Let's let everybody get their fair share. It is wherever people do you wrong. When people do you wrong, wherever it is in your chart, that's their karma. So you and I both know, I'm a huge fan of, like, energy doesn't disappear, it goes somewhere. So what you give out, it's going to come back to you, and you can't predict when. And karma's time is not your time, and you don't have any say so. So just, you know, watch how you move out here. And those lessons tend to be very earth shattering. They're hard. It's not like, you know, I have those instant karma moments where I'll say something, then I'll stub a toe. Okay, I don't like that. I'll apologize quickly, but, you know, the one like, damn, my bad. But right. you but like you were saying, the ones that just don't if you don't want it, don't give it.
Times 3. I taught James, my 5-year-old son. I was like, have you ever heard of the rule of threes? He's like, no, what's that? I'm like, well, the idea is whatever you put out there, you get back times 3, good or bad. So come correct in the world. Like, no, going into it, stuff is going to come back to you.
Listen, we know with his big 3, he is going to come absolutely fabulously correct in every single kind of way. Like, he is going to come more correct than most people. And they'd be like, damn, he is for real, y'all. That's him. But
this article I was reading was saying how Saturn's placement in your chart also indicates, like, your past life trauma and your past life karma that you in this life have to overcome. And I thought that was really interesting too, as somebody who has Saturn in the 7th house, which is the house of partnerships and relationships. And I was looking at my Saturn return period, and it was where I went through a relationship with and broke up with my ex, met my current husband, and, like, at the end of the Saturn return, but, like, put that relationship through a lot of testing to get it where it is today, which is happy and awesome. But it was like, that was a huge period of upheaval and struggle, and it makes you wonder what was I up to?
Dang! That's what I feel like.
All I know is I'm trying to do right now. I'm trying to do right by the universe now.
My Saturn is in Virgo, which is not the easiest earth sign to have it in, because that's a very analytical and nitpicky type of earth sign. So it kind of goes with some perfectionistic tendency, and it's just, like, not the easiest. And it's in my 4th house, which is my house of home. So it's like my foundation. So that's, you know, difficult. And, you know, I've had, like, definite transitions multiple times over within my foundation. But the best lesson that Saturn has always taught me is that I'm always coming back from a place of learning and a stronger place, not just from like a broken place. It's always stronger because I've learned those lessons. And now, even if my foundation gets rocked, it's never going to be that much of an upheaval. It'll just be on a more solid ground. So that has been helpful. But, you know, in hindsight, while I was in it, prayers all day.
It's hard. It's hard out here. Yeah.
Girl. But that's why we're here, to make it easy, you know, to talk about it, because that's what we're here for. We got to get this out. We got to talk it out, because if you don't chat about it, you're just going to keep thinking about it, and that's never good, because that doesn't go anywhere.
If you don't figure out how your brain works and what you're thinking about, how are you going to fix the things you're worried about? You know what I mean?
So, what do you want to gain from this Saturn in Aquarius?
From this Saturn in Aquarius, I would like to make certain that the things that I'm working on, the work that I do, reverberates out into the world. I don't want to say as I want it to or as I intend it to, because I know that I don't have control over that. But let's say it goes out into the world and helps the world move in the directions I envision for the world's future. You know what I mean? Like, I want my work to contribute to a better future for humanity. How about that?
Yes, that is. Cassie right now is just starting her speech for political movement with the Being for a Better Place.
Girl, I've thrown that out the window with this project. You know I'm going to say some crazy shit on here that's going to preclude me from holding public office 5 years from now.
We need some real people, though. We need real people. We need real people that can relate, period. Okay, I'm digging that. How
about you?
Well, honestly, I am really excited to have Saturn in Capricorn, because I know that the work that I'm doing right now is going to be all the rewards are going to be worth it at the end. And so I'm really excited to be committed and just doing things outside of the box and trying different ways, and knowing that I'm going to have that type of influence on humanity as a whole, because I know what I'm putting out there. And I'm glad that Saturn's giving me the structure to hold to it.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Saturn in Aquarius.
Yeah.
That's fun.
Well, appreciate everybody for joining the live. Stay tuned for more. We will have our first for real live on January 9th. That's a Sunday night. It will be 11 p.m. Eastern time. That's when we will be doing our Sunday lives. From then on, if you do want to get your chart read, you want to talk to us, because you
could be in a tiny rectangle right here next to my face, talking to Tanae and I about your chart. You started dating a Virgo. It's kind of weird. Let's talk about it. Like, you are having trouble with your mom and she's a Pisces. I have a Pisces mom too. Let's talk about it. My mom's wonderful though. Shout out to Michelle Grams, who was in the chat.
We love Michelle Grams. Grams and hoes.
But DM us, email us at the Zodiac Chat Line at gmail.com. Tell your friends too, if you have friends who like astrology, or like, I don't know, about my new boyfriend. He's a Scorpio. Let's talk about it.
And pray about it.
And thank you to Let Me Cut That for giving us that question. That was fun to think about. If you have any questions you want us to talk about, leave those in comments. Tweet them at us. We're on TikTok. Who even knew we were there? Like,
and the YouTubers. We are everywhere. Come find us. Come talk to us. We love y'all. It's all love. Have a great night.
Peace. Bye.